Hi, just going to give you a video to explain the triangles indicator for TradeStation. This is basically an indicator that will allow you to see triangle or wedge patterns on a chart, and it also works in RadarScreen and the scanner, and this will work on any time frame. And here's my email and website. If you have any questions or comments, please contact me there. And here's the legal info. I would urge you to pause the video and read this completely. Basically, we're saying everything we do is for educational purposes only. There is no advice or recommendation to buy or sell anything being given. Everything is just an example. Like I say, for educational purposes, you're fully responsible for everything you do with your trading, your investing, and we recommend that you get the appropriate professional training to do that. Again, everything we do is for educational purposes only. Okay, I've just got a workspace pulled up with the indicator loaded on the daily and a weekly chart, and then here it is in RadarScreen, and we'll go through this and show you. But basically, you can see here is Burlington, and you can see as of this is on April 24th, 2020, that there's a potential wedge triangle pattern forming here, and you can see here was one in the past on the daily. Let's see, there's some more that occurred in the past. You can kind of see it'll keep a history, and you can show as many of these prior triangles as you want. I think the default is set to 5 for the historical triangles on the chart. And then here you can see the same thing on the weekly chart. You can see here was a triangle, and here was potentially one. I guess this one probably worked out better than this. Kind of seemed to be back and forth before it finally took off. Let's see, do something, I don't know, go Amazon, do something on the exciting stuff that people trade. You can see we had one back here on April 6th. It seems like there was a triangle and then a good breakout there, and then had a few in the past where there have been good breakouts. And here's the weekly chart, and you can see here's on the RadarScreen the indicators pulled up. You can see right now this column triangle tells you if there's currently a triangle that's being formed or not. So for Amazon, it's 0, so you can see there is no triangle being formed. Look like we might get one potentially if we get enough data here. And then let's see, we'll say Goldman Sachs. We'll look at something. Yeah, see, it says there's a triangle forming, and sure enough on the chart there is one. And then here's the high. This would be the high bar of the triangle, and then the low is down here. This is giving you the current value at the tip of the triangle as it's currently being created. And if it's yellow, let's see, well, I'll go ahead and show you the inputs here and we'll talk about that. Let's see, these inputs, so prior triangles, this really only applies to the charts. Triangle color, you can change the color that these are displayed in, and you can also see this will be the color that when there is a triangle that it's displayed over here with a 1. And you can change these to be dotted lines. If you set this to false, the default is solid lines, so it's set to true. Alert color you saw over here, this is if you've like for Goldman Sachs, if the low price exceeded the or broke below the low, then it'll be shown in red. So you can change this color. And then alert price threshold, if you want to, you say, well, I don't really want to make sure it's outside the triangle before I do anything. You could set this, let's set this to $1. So that'll add a threshold $1 above and $1 below that has to be broken before this will be shown in red. And then swing period, this is basically, the triangles are basically being detected by looking for swing highs and swing lows and then lining those up. So if you want to basically look for bigger triangles, you could change this to a higher number, and it would force that there would be more data required before we start looking for a triangle. But 2 is the default. That basically means there's a peak with like right here would be a swing high with 2 lower bars on either side, and that would count as a peak, and then that would get thrown into the calculations to figure out if there's a triangle. So like I say, I always use this, leave it at 2, but if you wanted to have bigger triangles detected, you could change this number. So let's say OK here. So now you saw this number change to yellow. That's because we added a dollar threshold, so the low did not break below this value plus, minus another dollar, so it would have to get below 173.47 for this to turn red. And we can see over here that the low was oops, let's see if I can, I don't think that's on the chart. Well, this low right here is like 174.59, which obviously is not below that minus another dollar. So that's why that went back to yellow, is because it didn't go below the pad. But the default is 0, so it'll just, when you break above and below these lines, you'll just be alerted with a red number. I can see like here on Dow, you can see this one broke above, so we got the red indication in the triangle high column, and sure enough you can see that it went above that value even by more than $1, so that's why it's red here. So let's see, anything. So you can do the same thing over here. If we say we don't want to see any prior triangles, you just want to see the ones that are forming, you can set that to 0, and you'll just see here's the, you only get the one that's forming currently, but no historical ones. And of course we could change this. We'll say, make that green, we'll make that false, and let's put this back. We'll say make it 8 to see the 8 prior ones. So now you can see they're all in green dashed lines, and we've got the current one, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. There's another one in there. 5, 6, 7, 8 right here. So yeah. Oh, there's another one. 8. That must have been that one I counted earlier, wasn't. But you can kind of see historically, if you want to go back and see how they react. This one looked like it went down. This triangle, not much. It went down a little bit. And this one broke down. This one, it had a kind of a little bit of a move down. So you can kind of get a feel for how they react. There's things you can do. Obviously, you could just look for the break, set a buy or a sell order below the high or the low, and do it that way. You could obviously use other indicators to kind of help this to just be one more thing in your set of indicators to kind of give you some help to deciding what's going to happen. I'm sure there's all sorts of options, things you could do. I mean, obviously you could try to sell something counting on this moving away and making some money off of the loss of premium, I guess, or you could try to maybe buy a straddle or a strangle. Obviously this thing's going to have to move enough for that to be profitable, and then you have to worry about the volatility and the options pricing. So there's different things to consider, but basically this is just a tool to help you to see when things are compressing, and maybe you can take advantage of that. So let's see, let me show you, let's see, we looked at the charts. Let me show the scanner. Okay, I've got, let's see, that's something else. We'll take that off. Okay, I've got the scanner pulled up, and you can basically see I've just got a scan looking for stocks that have 1 million shares at least traded over $20, and then are forming a triangle. And we can see here's just the defaults, and all you basically do is look for this triangle signal to be greater than 0. It'll be a 1 when there is a triangle, and we run the scan. So take that, and I've already run it, and so we can see, I don't know we saw that one, but let's see, let's go look at what's one that everybody knows that might be interesting. We'll pick something. I usually pick the start of the alphabet. We'll go to the end of the alphabet and see what we can see. Let's see. We'll just go RH. So we'll do that. Okay, we got RH in the scanner. Sure enough, I mean from the scanner, and we put it over here in our workspace, and you can see in RadarScreen, yes, we have a triangle, and you come over here in the daily chart, and sure enough, there's a triangle forming. And so hopefully you can see how that could be helpful to you. I usually scan for daily and then weekly triangles as well. It seems like with the way the market's been moving, there haven't been a whole lot of weekly triangles forming just yet, since we've obviously had some big down moves and then a decent recovery for a lot of things here recently. So again, this is the triangle indicator. It basically helps you find triangles or wedges, and hopefully that's useful for you. And if you've got any questions, you can go back to the start of the video. My email is there, so send me an email if you got suggestions or questions about this. And I think there's a 10-day trial period, so give it a shot, see if it's useful, and hopefully this is a good tool for you. Thanks.